Okay, now we're going to do zero product property. You're not going to find this hard. On Monday, I will not be here because I'm the coach for the math team, and I will be taking them to state. Lots of math problems. Okay, so here's what we're going to do with zero product property. A lot of students call it ZPP. Joe? And it's not that hard. This property, I'm going to go to the next page, which you should see, is solve for x. So what it's saying is if I have two numbers and they multiply to 0, what does one of them have to be? 5 times what gives you 0?
0.
0.
Oh, wow.
Negative 2 times what?
Those are all 0.
Gives you 0.
All of them 0.
Okay, but what about this next one?
They're all 0.
X times y gives you 0. If
Why
that,
0?
well, y could be 0. So y is equal to 0, or x equals 0.
Oh my God.
Okay, girls? So if you multiply any two numbers and you get 0, one of them has to be 0. The zero product property only works when it's equal to 0. It's an or. Okay, so what we're going to do is learn how to solve equations with zero product property. It's a very important property, and it's not hard. Okay?
So it's either y.
I like that, Lalo. Either the x equals 0 or the y equals 0. They both could be 0, but generally speaking, when you have x times y, one of them they're different numbers. So if x is 0, y is not 0. That's all. Okay, so let's try some problems. And all this is a zero product property that says if you have a product of two numbers and the product is 0, one is 0 or the other is 0. The only time both equal 0 is when A is equal to B, and that's not often. It doesn't happen very often.
Okay, I left earlier today, and I dropped my book on the floor, and all the papers fell out. Can I see if it's on the phone?
Okay, shh, you guys. Okay, you guys. Here's my parabola. What form is this, Joe?
Are we supposed to take these notes?
Yeah, here, we're going to do one right now.
Because you are just going way too fast.
Vertex.
Oh, no, it's not vertex.
No, general.
Okay, shh. Here's the property. Call it ZPP. If the product of two numbers is 0, then one of them has to be 0. That's it. Okay, Suzanne? Now we have been looking at parabolas. And what I want to do is find out where this is 0. Because, yes? Sure.
Thank you.
That's why you want to do it on your iPad, because then you don't have to write anything down.
Exactly. Yeah. What?
So what kind of notes are these?
They have exactly what I have here. You have to write it down because you don't have notes, because you don't want to do it on your iPad.
So wait, what are they even doing?
They will be doing in about 2 seconds, Ray. Cool it. Okay, you ready? Can we go on? Okay. Shh. You guys, remember what these points are called on a parabola?
X-intercepts.
They're x-intercepts. And what's true? So this they should be writing down. What's true about the y coordinate here? What's y equal to?
Y equals 0.
0. This should be okay with this, because well, I haven't introduced this theorem about zero product property, but you do know how to do a little bit of this. That's right. There's my parabola. I want to find the x-intercepts. Okay? Well, the x-intercepts are where y is 0. This is 0. So what we can do, I have the product of two numbers. Remember, x minus 1, if x is 10, that's just 9. And if x is 10, then that's what? 11. These just represent numbers, and their product is going to be 0. Well, what has to be true? How do you get 0 out of that? Not necessarily. What has to happen is that one of these must be 0. And Alex, would you agree that this is one of the best properties, one of the most important properties we do in math? We use this all the time. So that x minus 1, I want to see you write this out. Now, at the level of calculus that we're doing, we don't write it out, we just put down the answers. But even at the University of Minnesota, if you're doing calculus, they expect you to write it out. Crazy as it is, I can just look at it and tell me when the zeros are, but that's okay. Now, I'm okay if you do inspection here. What number can you put in here, Joe, that makes that 0? Not 0.
9.
What number, take away 1, gives you 0? 1.
Told you guys.
Or, what's the other number?
0.
Is 0 plus 1 0? Solve by subtracting 1 from both sides, and x equals negative 1. This is how you solve to find where y is 0. We are finding the x coordinates here. Once we know that, actually, we can graph this parabola. We know it goes through 1 and negative 1. So I know it's going to do something like that. At least I got a shape. There's a lot more I can do. Okay, David? All we're doing is finding the product of two numbers to get 0. Then this factor is 0, or that's factor 0. You've not done this property before that I know of. I don't know where you would have done it. So ready to do another problem? You should not. You should be able to get this done in class. You can help kids individually.
Test.
Oh, you want to work on your test? I'll have to get it. Okay. What two things do you get here that give you 0?
5. No.
No. Write it out separately. Did you file it? Oh, there it is. There you go. So, remember, these are two numbers. What if x, okay, Lalo, x could be anything you want. If x is 10, then 10 minus 6, that's a number. And then you have 10 plus 9. Is that equal to 0? No, because this is 4, and this is 19, and I don't know what it is, but I know it's not 0. How would you get 0 out of it, Alex? One of these would has to be 0. Either x minus 6 equals 0. Yeah, I didn't really care, though, because it wasn't giving me 0. What's the other one that would give me 0? These are factors. This number, x plus 9, gives you 0. Can you guys solve for those x's or not?
Yeah.
What's the first x, Cole? What's this x? What do I put in here to make that 0? What'd you say? 6. Can you look at this and tell me what that is? 9 plus 9 is 18. Minus 9. That's as hard as this is today. We are just using a property to find our x-intercepts. That's the application. You're solving this equation. We're going to do a lot more with this coming up. It's not going to go away. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so you should have that written down, the original problem, and then you should write these things down. I don't care about what I wrote in black. It doesn't work. Right, Julian? It doesn't work. I want the product here, there's a time sign, to give me 0. It's only true if you multiply two numbers to get 0. One's got to be 0. Does that make sense? Okay, can I change pages yet? It's okay, because she's taking notes. Takes a little longer. Those of you who can change pages, go ahead and try the next one. What two numbers? Now, what do you call numbers you multiply together? What do you call numbers you multiply together? They're called factors. So guess what? If you don't have, if what expression you get is not factored, you're going to have to factor it. Okay, now? Okay, there it is. X times x plus 2 equals 0.
2.
Well, I want you to write out the two things that could be 0. Julian, what's one of them? What can you put in for x to make that 0? Either this one is 0, which is done, or, Cole, what's the other one?
I don't know.
True. Okay. x plus 2. Guys, if you just pay attention and think about it, this is not that hard. What's the answer to this one?
-2.
Excellent. And the answer to this one is obvious. It's what? Math is not hard if you learn the rules. And you already know if you multiply two numbers. Well, no, you got to learn the rules and practice. You have to practice. Anything that you do in life that's worthwhile doing, you probably have to practice at it. Okay, Lalo?
Yeah.
Any questions on that one? Is this easy?
Yep.
I hope it's easy. Suzanne, do you get it? Okay, this one's going to require a little more work. What's this one going to give me, Joe? This is a factor, and that's a factor. So what gives me 0? You have to write two things down.
What do you do with the 2?
Well, we're not going to worry about that yet. Take the whole factor. What's this factor? It's 2x plus 3. That's the factor. That's 0. Remember, that's just a number. If x is 0, what number is this?
0.
No, what's 0 plus 3?
3.
3. X can be anything you want. I want to figure out what number I can put in there so I get 0 for that whole expression. Then what's the other one? X minus 7 is 0. Let's do the easy one first.
X minus 7.
Which one makes this one 0?
Minus 7.
Plus 7 to both sides if you have to. I hope you can look at it and just tell me x equals 7. Now the next one, if you don't show the steps, you're probably going to do it upside down. Be quiet, honest. How do I solve for x here, Cole?
It has to be a negative number.
How do I solve for x? I want x by itself.
Divide.
No. You were going to say it right. Minus 3. You were saying it right. Yes, he did. So what do you get, Cole?
You get -3.
No, what do I get here on the left side?
2x.
2x equals,
-3.
now what do we do?
Now you
What's the opposite of multiplying by 2? Dividing by 2. So x equals -3 halves. It is kind of cool. Actually, it's one of the most powerful tools you'll ever learn in math. Joe, I'm going to have you sit back there. No, you're talking in Cole's ear. So move.
Cold whisper. He's doing his work though, so it's okay.
No, it's not okay.
I'm doing my work.
That's good, but no, it's not okay. Good. You can sit back there. It'll be fine. Okay, I don't think there's a lot left. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What do we get? 3 factors here. Okay, Lachey? Which ones are 0 here? David, which one's 0? 2 is equal to 0. Is 2 equal to 0? 2 is equal to 0?
No.
No. You can't find a number to make 2 equal to 0. What's another factor? Lucas? There's 1. There's another factor. What's the other factor? X plus 5 is 0. What's another factor, Lalo? What's another factor?
3.
No.
8.
The factors are these things that are in the parentheses.
3x minus 8.
3x, the things, they're expressions. Okay, obviously 2 is not 0. If you let x be 0 here, you will not get 0. What if x is 0? What do you get?
0.
You get 2.
2.
No. What's 0 plus 5?
5.
5. If I put 3 times 0, that's 0. 0 minus 8 is a minus 8. Okay, is that 0? I don't care what it is, but is it 0?
No.
No. So this isn't going to work. I should have pencils there someplace. And can you tell me what the answer to this is? Quick, that's an easy one, I think.
5.
5 plus 5 is 10. How do you...
5.
We are solving. We're trying to find numbers you put in here that make it true. That one makes it work. This is hand lotion. Okay, then what do you do here? This is not easy. Lindsay, how do I solve this? I want to solve for x. What do I have to do? I don't want the minus 8. We have to add 8 to both sides. And then what are we going to get? Joe? 3x equals 8. And then you do what? Divide by 3. Do I have to change 8/3 to anything? No, just leave it 8/3. That's all there is. But it has to be a multiplication problem. And it has to equal 0. Okay, ready? And then I put these up on there. How about trying that one? Somebody want to come up and try it? Marlon wants to try it?
No.
Joe, you want to come up and try it? Guys.
He said a bad word. Call me a bad name. You called you a cat. Exactly.
So, first you set your factors equal to 0. The ones that can be. Can 5 be 0?
No.
No. So what's the first factor?
5.
5 can't be 0. So the first factor is this whole thing in the parentheses. So write that down. Equals 0. Or, what's the other factor? It is an or, though. Equals 0. There you go. Now, you just have to solve those equations. Remember how to solve them? We've done these 100 times. Do you want some help? How do you get x by itself? I want to get rid of the 1. Yeah. I highly recommend you write it out. Even I get the fractions upside down because I get tired. Yeah, you should do it. Yeah, he's got it right. 4x equals 1. It is hard to read. 4x equals 1. You added 1 to both sides. And then how do you get just x? Well, do it. You can just do it. You don't have to copy it. You don't know how to solve 4x minus 1 is 0?
I thought you were saying whatever, like what you just said, but the other way. I was like, I can't read it though.
I know you can't. But wait a minute. You get 4x minus 1, equals 1. Don't want that. Okay? And then you divide by 4. Is that 4 or is that 1/4? No. 1 divided by 4. Think of a dollar divided 4 ways. That's why they call it a quarter. If you never realized that before, a 25-cent piece is a quarter of a dollar. Okay, what about this next one? 0.25. Thank you. What are you going to do here? First, you got to get rid of the 7. That's right, minus 7. Good. What kind of x? Good. 2x equals minus 7. And now what do you do, Ray? 2 times what is minus 7? Well, it's minus 7 halves. That's the answer. That's it. It's too easy. Minus 7 halves. That's it. Yeah, just leave it. Okay, Cole? That's it. Okay, Suzanne, you have this down? Because you're going to submit this to me.
Not yet.
Should I? No, you're not taking pictures. You're doing it.
Thank you.
You need to do it. So you're going to say 2x plus 7, right? So it's a little bit easier to read, is equal to 0. And then how do you get the x's by themselves?
Divided.
No, what's the opposite of adding 7?
Minus 7.
Minus 7. That's why you need to do this with me.
Wait, Miss Gombeski.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you just divide 2 both sides and then subtract 7?
7 halves then.
So we're gonna do
If
this.
you divide by 2, yes.
If we're just doing it all together.
No, I have a worksheet. This is the notes.
No, I know, but if we're just doing all of this together right now, why don't we just do it like
What?
group instead of like?
Because everybody's going to turn it in because not everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Know his last name?
Okay, you divide by 2. Okay,
So you can't do 2x divided by 0 and
Negative
minus
negative 7
7?
halves. What's wrong with that?
Same thing.
That's it. If you divide by 2, here's the question that just arose. Let's divide by 2. You must divide everything by 2. You can't just divide these two. That's not right.
Yeah.
You must divide this. So then you get x plus 7 halves. What's 0 divided by 2?
0.
0. Now what do? You subtract 7 halves. I think it's easier to undo the adding first. Generally speaking, it's what we do because then we have problems with fractions. Okay, Suzanne? I'll check your work here in a second. Nope, pictures don't count. You got to do them. Oh, I think that was it. Is that right? Well, I won't accept it, so you're going to have to go back and do it. Okay, so make sure your name is on there. I'm going to give you the worksheet, and we can try doing some of these together. Now, they start out factored for you. They're all factored for you, so this should not be too bad. And that's all we're doing. Yeah, you can just turn it in on my desk.